in Yankee Stadium. And it was right about there that Kyle Rote caught Y.A. Tittle's pass in last year's New York-Dallas game and promptly went about playing exciting hide-and-seek with the Cowboy defenders. We'll review that play very shortly. The CBS Sports Calendar really starts with fall and the opening of the CBS television network season. And fall means football. For 7 years now, CBS Sports has brought the nation a new kind of football, played with near perfection by the greatest teams the game has ever known. They're the teams of the NFL, the National Football League. And every Sunday in the season, National Football League stadiums are jammed while millions more follow the games on television. If you've been keeping your eye on CBS Sports, you'll surely remember some of these breathtakers from the 1961 season. Anyone who ever played hot potato as a youngster will appreciate this St. Louis Cardinal version. Quarterback Ralph Guglielmi back to pass fumbles. Charlie Granger recovers. And laterals to Frank Mesnick. Now it's a lateral to Ken Gray. Not to be outdone or maybe done in, Ken laterals to John David Crow. John David fumbles, but the ever-present Ken Gray, trailing the action, recovers. Now still another lateral back to the original ball carrier Guglielmi. All this and no touchdown. Veteran Hugh McElhaney, Hurricane Hugh they've always called him, and you can see why, is a Minnesota Viking in search of the wide-open spaces. This twisting and turning TD, a sort of pigskin ballet, is against the San Francisco 49ers. There comes a time, too, when you get the foot back into football. A Philadelphia punt is taken by Bobby Joe Conrad. Once the St. Louis speed merchant squirms free, there's no catching him. A 78-yard touchdown run. Cleveland's Jimmy Brown is having one of his typically great days as our cameras catch him, and that's the only thing that does. Taking a milk plum pass, Brown moves through the ranks of the Chicago Bears with the devastation of a runaway tank. Score up an 86-yard touchdown run for the league's top ground gainer. Here's that giant play I mentioned, the passing of Y.A. Tittle, the receiving of Kyle Rote, and, well, one of the many reasons why the New York 11 went on to dominate the Eastern Division. Dallas, trying to reciprocate, has Eddie LeBaron firing. An interception by Erich Barnes, 3 yards in his own end zone, and off he goes. A record-breaking 103-yard return, and a nice illustration of how CBS Sports gives you one of the best seats in the stadium. Television's immediacy also brings the explosive Green Bay Packers through your living room. That's Jim Taylor thundering for 50 yards against Chicago. Another reason for the Packers' championship last season is Paul Hornung. The National Football League's top scorer for the third consecutive season shows his heels to the Baltimore Colts in this play. And CBS Sports is there. And this year, of course, more of the same from the National Football League. 97 out of the total 98-game schedule. And this year, in addition, CBS Sports has exclusive network coverage of the NCAA collegiate football schedule. Every Saturday, CBS Sports goes to the top NCAA contests, where the bands are the brassiest and the drum majorettes are the prettiest. The action is the finest college football can offer. Taking a backward glance at the 1961 season, here's the NCAA's first intersectional contest, Georgia Tech versus Southern California. And it's the invading Yellow Jackets doing most of the scoring. Taking a Bill Lothridge aerial, Joe Hauer runs and takes for a Tech touchdown as Georgia Tech romps over the Trojans 27-7. Here's NCAA-style do-it-yourself spirit A Maryland-Syracuse contest in Maryland's College Park, with the Terrapins trailing in the third period, quarterbacked by Dave Shiner. Finding his receivers covered, Shiner runs all the way. A determined Maryland team goes on to squeak out a 22-21 upset victory. Northwestern versus Notre Dame in another good bet for scrappy NCAA play in any season. Here the focus is on Larry Benz's fine pitching arm. Engulfed by Irish defenders, the Wildcat ace connects with Bill Stenson. A block by Pat Riley, and Stenson is unmolested as he scores a 50-yarder. Final score, Northwestern 12, Notre Dame 10. Storm signals always fly when native sons clash in the California-UCLA contest. In this opening period, it's all the Golden Bears as Alan Nelson disengages himself from a host of Bruins. Destination, end zone. A 70-yard TD, but in a losing cause as the Bruins come back to win it 35-15. Here, the Blue Devils of Duke play host to the Midshipmen of Annapolis and hand their guests some rough hospitality. The play is Walt Rappold to Jay Wilkinson. Jay, a worthy son of Oklahoma coach Bud Wilkinson, speeds 77 yards for a score as Duke sinks the Navy in a big NCAA upset. For NCAA color, nothing surpasses the yearly Army-Navy Classic. This is Army's Dick Eckert faking, pitching, and hitting Tom Culver. A 55-yard gain. Al Rushatz slams into Navy's forward wall for the score. After Army takes the lead, Navy counterattacks. Bob Hecht is right on target to acrobatic Jim Stewart for 36 precious yards. Now, Bill Ulrich on a pitch out. The Navy wins this time, and we look forward to next year. The football season ends in a blaze of glory when the top teams come together in the bowl games. CBS Sports covers 3 collegiate classics: the Gator, the Cotton, and the Bluebonnet, with the National Football League Playoff Bowl for extra good measure. And then the fans desert the football stadiums. It's winter, a change of seasons on the CBS Sports Calendar. In some ways, it's the best season of all because it brings the weekly CBS Sports Spectaculars. Not only the pick of winter sports from such centers as Squaw Valley and Lake Placid, but the pick of all sports played in all seasons, garnered from all over the world. Typical of past seasons and seasons to come is Sunday Sports Spectacular's complete coverage of the colorful sports car classic, the Grand Prix of Monaco on the French Riviera. Everything from bikinis to, well, the race itself, which yearly attracts the cream of the racing fraternity. Here, our CBS Sports cameras catch the daredevil drivers careening through streets broad and narrow in tiny Monaco, roughly half a mile square in size. The drivers negotiate 100 circuitous laps, 194 miles in all, and in Monaco, almost everyone is a racing fan. This International Grand Prix is typical of many auto classics that are exclusively yours each season on the CBS Sunday Sports Spectacular. Our camera crews range far and wide, high and low, wet and dry, for the interesting, unusual, and exciting in every field of sports. Here, we're set up on the headwaters of the Mississippi at St. Paul, with the focus on the International Outboard Motorboat Championships. The world's leading wave jockeys rocket along Old Man River at speeds up to 100 miles per hour, and that's lots of knots. For the ultimate in speed, Sports Spectacular may turn skyward, as in this beautiful sequence of Thunderbird, Interceptor, and fighter jets at the Air Defense Weapons meet. A true spectacular in every sense of the word. The Harlem Globetrotters are occasional visitors to Sports Spectacular, practicing the razzle-dazzle sleight of hand and foot that make them top drawing cards wherever basketball is played. With the hijinks out of the way, the Globetrotters play serious, exciting, and winning basketball. Then there's the Wild West at rodeo time, where the mounts are the most ornery, the saddles the least secure. And furthermore, you'd better get along, little doggy, because that cowpuncher's got a will of iron. Come spring to the CBS Sports Calendar, come baseball, golf, and thoroughbred racing. Time was when a sports fan would have had a tough time following all three, but that was pre-television. Every Saturday and Sunday, the CBS television network carries a top contest to areas that never see the majors in action. It's the baseball game of the week with veterans Dizzy Dean and Pee Wee Reese sharing the play-by-play. Yankee skipper Ralph Houck's winning freshman year, 1961, was made much easier by slugger Roger Maris. The American League's most valuable player 2 years running, Maris broke Babe Ruth's record of 60 homers, but in an expanded 162-game season. Expanded season or not, the Maris muscle helps keep the Yankee winning habit, this time against the Baltimore Orioles. Freddie Hutchinson guided the Cincinnati Reds to their first pennant in 21 years. Consistently good pitching, coupled with a tight defense able to come up with an inning-ending double play, plus the hot bat of Frank Robinson, the Senior Loop's most valuable player, are key factors in Cincinnati's upset win. Clutch contests like these are typical choices for CBS Sports Saturday and Sunday games of the week. In 1941, a horse named Whirlaway set the track record at Churchill Downs in the Kentucky Derby. He went on to win the Preakness by more than 5 lengths and walked away with the Belmont Stakes. The sports headlines read, Triple Crown to Whirlaway. This was the first time those 3 great stake races for 3-year-olds was called the Triple Crown. Citation was the last Triple Crown winner in 1948. And ever since, the CBS television network has carried all 3 races and waited for another great horse to win. Well, it didn't happen last spring. The association between the Kentucky Derby and CBS Sports goes all the way back to the vintage year 1929. And in '62, at Louisville's Churchill Downs, our cameras are again on hand for the 88th Derby, with a fast track and 12 3-year-olds making the 1.25-mile run for the roses, and incidentally, a purse worth nearly $120,000 to the winner. Number 13 is Rydan, the favorite, and he's holding a commanding lead through the better part of the race. Rydan, a native Kentuckian, won 10 of his 13 starts. He became the unanimous favorite when his biggest competitor, Sir Gaylord, pulled up lame the day before the race. And Rydan is not disappointing his rooters as he sets a blistering pace. The point is, can he maintain his momentum in the stretch when the pressure's the greatest? We're in the home stretch, and Roman Line gets his head in front. But out of the pack on the outside comes Decidedly. He's number 3 with a reputation as a late charger, and charge he does under jockey Bill Hartack's sure handling. Two and a half lengths ahead under the wire. Whirlaway's 21-year-old record time is beaten as Decidedly wins the first stakes victory of his career and the traditional wreath of roses. The CBS Plains second turf stop and the second jewel of racing's Triple Crown is the Preakness, 2 weeks after the Churchill Downs affair. Held at Pimlico, Maryland, it's the world's most richly endowed horse race, with added money value of $150,000, $135,000 to the winner. And many are wondering, will Decidedly do it again? Rydan breaks fast and sets the pace, just as he did in the Derby. It's a fast track of 1 mile and 3/16, a 16th shorter than the Churchill Downs Classic. At the quarter pole, Greek Money number 10 makes his move. On the inside now, the 11-to-1 shot responds beautifully to jockey Johnny Rotz. Rydan fights to stave off defeat, but Greek Money wins it by a nose. Jaipur, the favorite, is in 10th position. For Greek Money, winner of the 86th Preakness, the wreath of Black-Eyed Susan, if he'll only stand still. And where was the Derby winning decidedly? Decidedly out of it by 8.5 lengths. So there was to be no 1962 Triple Crown winner. But that didn't mean there wasn't excitement here at Belmont. Fans started coming in while our CBS Sports mobile unit was still setting up. With conventional television cameras placed at the usual strategic points, CBS Sports tests out a new piece of equipment. A portable wireless television camera that can go almost anywhere, even into the paddock. The horses are unimpressed, but the new gadget attracts lots of attention. From CBS Sports veteran race caller Brian Field, among others. And then the most exciting words in racing, and they're off. This is the 94th running of the Belmont Stakes, with a field of 8 thoroughbreds competing for close to $110,000 first money. Admiral's Voyage takes an early lead in this, the longest of the Triple Crown races, 1.5 miles. Decidedly and Greek Money are both in the pack, and so is Jaipur, with Willie Shoemaker aboard, who ran 10th in the Preakness. Now, as we approach the thrilling climax of the 1962 Belmont Stakes, let's listen to Brian Field call it.
They swing the far turn. Jaipur, the second horse, moves on the leader. Admiral Voyage is still the leader. Admiral's Voyage by only 1/2 length. It's Jaipur turning it on. And Jaipur is on the outside of him, only a neck away of Admiral's Voyage. Admiral's Voyage holds on. Crimson Satan now third. Greek Money does not hold on. He is fourth. Decidedly coming from far back is fifth. As they come to the top of the stretch, Crimson Satan moves on the outside of the two front ones, and he is now 1/2 length off the two in front. That is Jaipur holding on with Admiral's Voyage, Crimson Satan on the outside. The three are head and head. Over on the rail, Admiral's Voyage. In the middle, Jaipur on the outside, Crimson Satan. They hold on, head and head. The three of them go, all driving, all out for all they work. Admiral's Voyage over on the rail, and Jaipur, Crimson Satan forward. Here it comes, and it's going to be tight. And it looks like Jaipur to me. And the second horse was Admiral's Voyage, and 2 lengths out of it, Crimson Satan.
Wow, well, that's the kind of finish that makes horse racing and makes the Triple Crown one of CBS Sports' prize attractions every spring. Television has helped the growth of a great many participant sports. There are more horsemen, more water sports enthusiasts, more skiers than ever before. And for many of them, the first contact with the sport came by way of television. The same thing is true for golf. Before television, only a handful saw the champions play. Now, millions do. And many of them go out and try to emulate Gary Player or Arnold Palmer. I mentioned Player and Palmer because they were outstanding personalities in CBS Sports golf coverage last season. Arnold Palmer, a colorful top money winner, seems well on his way to his third Masters until he blows a short lead in the final round. This is not typical Palmer form. He usually electrifies the galleries and the television audiences with his dramatic come-from-behind finishes. Gary Player, the South African star who won in 1961, is hoping for a repeat. Now Finsterwald is the first of the leaders to hold out on the final round. His 280 is the score that the others have to beat. On the 18th green, 70 feet from victory, Gary Player putts boldly. The ball rolls to a stop 4 feet from the pin. Palmer, also 278, is 45 feet shy. A one putt will wrap it up. It's straight, but short by 3 feet. Player holding out. Now he too has a 280 total, and the pressure passes to Palmer. The 31-year-old native Pennsylvanian coolly drops it in, and it's a three-way tie, the first in Masters history. In the 18-hole playoff next day, it's all Palmer, who often rises to unprecedented heights when the pressure is greatest. A 4-under par 68 and $20,000 take-home pay for Arnold Palmer, a true master. Now, a few moments from the climax of this year's surprising PGA tournament, the 44th, held at Aronimink, Pennsylvania. Since leaving his native South Africa a few years back to hit the American golf tournament trail, Gary Player has been sharing many of the big ones with Arnold Palmer. Many fans hope for a Player-Palmer duel this time. But the last day finds that Player's closest competitor is Bob Golby, who is shooting a blistering 67, 3 under par on the final 18. As the CBS Sports anchorman on the 18th hole, I interview Arnold Palmer while Gary Player is still engaged on the fairways. Palmer has had a disappointing time of it.
Right now, where we have a moment, we'd like to just congratulate you, pat you on the back for that tremendous British Open win. And I'm just amazed at the stamina, both physical and mental, that you have. And I know that you're a little disappointed with what you did here in the PGA because you want to win this one.
Well, I certainly do, Chris. And this week, I guess it was just a little too close for me, flying back Saturday, and I tried to get a day off. But with everything going right now, I didn't have much of an opportunity. I probably would have been better with less practice and another day's rest here. However, I was consistent. I averaged 72 for the tournament, and if you can't be good, you can be consistent. How's that?
Okay, Arnold Palmer, the British Open Masters champion.
There's tension up to the last moment as a haggard, nearly exhausted Gary Player reaches the 18th green. His final putt, if he makes it, will bring him all the glory and the $13,000 first money. And in it goes, the first foreigner in 32 years to win the PGA. Player takes a well-deserved bow, and the drama ends, but not for long.
No sooner have championship golf and big league baseball going by the way than a new football season is upon us. And so goes the CBS Sports Calendar year. But one year is not exactly like another. And every fourth year, something very important happens in the sports world. Something that started in 776 BC, died during the Roman Empire, and was reborn late in the 19th century. They are the Worldwide Olympic Games. Remember 1960?
At Squaw Valley, California, the Winter Games open with the arrival of the Olympic flame, kindled at Mount Olympus, Greece, flown via Norway, brought to the site by a relay of runners and skiers, and carried here by former Olympic champion Andrea Meade Lawrence. Throughout the competition here and later in Rome, the flaming symbol of the world's greatest athletic spectacles always remains ablaze. From 30 nations, nearly 700 men and women compete at Squaw Valley. The play is intense, the action fierce, the spirit magnificent. For some, the events are lonely tests of sheer physical skill, and the race is with the clock. For others, like the United States and Russian hockey teams, it's a rough, tough contest face to face. The undefeated Americans in dark jerseys carry the play to the Soviets. A United States win will clinch a gold medal. With the score tied, the Americans are pressing deep in Russian ice. Bill Christian shoots and scores a beauty for what proves to be the winning goal, and boisterous appreciation from his teammates. In other Olympic contests, the emphasis is on form and body control. Rome is the scene of gymnastic perfection rarely witnessed this side of the Atlantic, some of which approaches the beauty of Russian ballet. Equally graceful and on the ice is Carol Heiss, the New York University undergraduate who dominates the women's figure skating division at Squaw Valley. Barbara Wagner and Robert Paul were no easy task for our cameras to follow. This Canadian pair safely defy the normal laws of gravity and win easily in their division. Dominating among the male soloists is another American, David Jenkins of Colorado Springs. In winning, he carries on a family tradition started by his older brother, Hayes Allen, who took the gold medal in the 1956 Olympics. And so it goes, whether in the bracing chill of Squaw Valley or under the hot Roman sun, where 5,400 athletes gathered from 84 countries, the greatest number of participating nations in Olympic history. The Olympic Games are games indeed, but they are more. They represent an ideal of character, of conduct, of clean competition. CBS Sports is proud to have brought the 1960 Olympics to the American people, and the CBS television network continues to be the place to look for the world's greatest sports events right around the calendar.
It's a long sweep of time from the old Greek originals to stadiums like this one. Certainly, the coming together of sports fans is nothing new, but television has brought something new to sports. It has enlarged the boundaries of the arena to embrace the whole nation. On occasion, the whole world. This is Chris Schenkel for CBS Television Sports and the CBS Television Network.